What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sector for Nerds, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars Retro Discussions. Today we're here to talk about Season 5, Episode 14, Eminence. I have been waiting for this moment since we started this entire show. These next three episodes are three of the greatest episodes in this entire show. This is like the second best arc in the Clone Wars behind Siege of Mandalore, and I cannot wait to chat with you about it. Okay, so first up, make sure you guys are liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing this video with others to help support the channel. Plenty of great content every single week, nothing that you guys want to miss out on. If you haven't been checking out this Clone Wars series, man, I highly recommend you do so. We've got over 100 episodes of this thing now. It's incredible. This particular episode that we're going to be talking about today was directed by Kyle Dunleavy and written by Chris Collins. The cookie for this episode: one vision can have many interpretations. Now, without any further ado, intro guy, let the people know what's going down in this episode. Evil Alliance. Darth Maul and Savage Opress escape Obi-Wan Kenobi's assault once again. With their plan to build a crime organization in peril, the brothers' fate is about to be changed forever as they drift, barely alive, through unknown space. Thank you, intro guy. The first thing we get in this episode is that little escape pod that we saw them escape in earlier in the season. It's just drifting there in space. And all of a sudden we see this black lightsaber cutting through the door. Well, I wonder what that could be. And frickin' Death Watch comes walking through. I gotta tell you guys, this was always one of those, when Darth Maul came back, this was always one of those what ifs for me. What if he teamed up with Death Watch? And then they frickin' did it here. It's amazing.
Should we rub him out?
No. I want to hear their story. If they're an enemy of the Jedi, then they're a friend of mine. Load them up.
So they take Maul to their secret base, and we see a droid fixing Maul's legs. So it's okay, well, looks like they're getting him back into order here. He's not going to be the tall guy anymore, though. He's going to be a bit shorter now again. So then Maul and Vizsla have a little chat, right? Who are you guys?
We are Sith.
Do you serve Count Dooku?
I serve no one.
I thought there could only be two Sith. A master and an apprentice.
We are brothers, the true lords of the Sith.
What happened to your ship?
Destroyed by Jedi.
Do you know which Jedi?
Kenobi.
I could probably quote, this entire episode off memory. That's how many times I've seen it, along with the next two. So then we get a chat between Vizsla and Maul in, I would appear to be their cafeteria. Time for some tea. Vizsla kind of explains who the Death Watch are, what they're all about, what they've been doing. And there's this whole idea that Maul comes up with, we can help you reclaim Mandalore, because they've realized that, they have a common enemy in Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan is responsible for their exile. So they propose this dangerous alliance here, but Bo-Katan walks in and rightly points out, which, by the way, shout out to Bo-Katan. This is now the second time that we've seen her in the Clone Wars. We saw her last season as well, which I don't think we've ever seen her without her helmet up to this point, though. So I think this is our first time seeing her without one. She goes, we've allied ourselves with Sith in the past, and Count Dooku, he betrayed us. Sith are no better than Jedi. She's going on this rant. And then Maul just starts force choking her, and he goes, doubt will only lead to failure. As everyone points their guns at him, and Vizsla's just hold on. And Maul has this really good line.
Our combined strength will be rewarded. Mandalore will be yours, and Kenobi, this Sith pretender Dooku, and all our enemies will fall.
Oh, I love it. I was already starting to get on board with this, right after that line, when he's Kenobi, Dooku, all our enemies are gonna fall. I'm I like what we're building here. I'm not somebody that, typically roots for the bad guys, you know what I'm saying? I've always been kind of, pro-light side. This is really the first time I'm yeah, actually, you know what? I kind of want to, I'm kind of rooting for these guys. This is a cool faction here that we got going. It's great. Because if you guys remember, when we talked about season 4, it was initially we thought, okay, well, what's the purpose of bringing Maul back? Is it just going to be to get vengeance on Obi-Wan all the time? Or is there going to be a bit more to it? And this was that bit more to it. And guess what? I freaking loved it, if you can't already tell. And man, the idea of him going up against Count Dooku, oh my gosh, that'd be something really interesting that I'd love to see in a future season of the Clone Wars. Can't wait for us to talk about that. So then Maul and Savage have a little chat, and Maul's like, hey, look, unlike pirates, these guys possess honor. They don't know anything of our intentions. Those revelations are going to come too late for them. The minute that these guys, because then Vizsla walks in the room and he says, our brothers are in favor of an alliance. But it's like, everyone's already like planning to turn on each other before this thing even begins. Which I guess makes sense, right? Like the Sith are always betraying one another. It's not like Death Watch are nice guys either. So then Maul and Vizsla are kind of chatting, and Maul's like, look, your people are strong and skilled, but you're going to need an army if you're going to take Mandalore. And he says, we can assemble an army beginning with the Black Sun. Now, I'll admit, I didn't really at the time know too much about the Black Sun or really about like any of the crime syndicates or whatever. But Maul says like they can provide us the resources that we need to sustain a war without the scrutiny of the Republic. And I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, no, that's a really good idea, Maul. Yeah, if they can help provide resources, yeah, we got to start building a power base here. Let's go. And correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, is this not the first episode? Unless you want to count like the Night Sister episodes or whatever too, but like this is really an episode where we get to see it from the perspective of the dark side characters. It's something that we rarely get in Star Wars because everything's told through the light side, of course. So this was like such a really nice change of pace. And Dave talks about, speaking of the whole power base thing, he talks about in the behind the scenes of this episode that Maul would have started to do the things that he was trained to do by Sidious. So like building a power base, constructing an army, getting other people to do his bidding. These are all things that Sidious would have taught him. And it was George's idea to have Maul team up with the Mandos. That was such a better idea, George, than your Void idea. So they go to meet the Black Sun. Now, the Black Sun is actually something that originated from the video game Shadows of the Empire. Talking characters like Prince Sizor and everything like that. It's funny because the way that they have this set up is Maul is like that center person that's walking, like almost very leader-like, right? It's like, okay, well, if you're wondering who's really in charge of this situation, because Vizsla very much felt like it was trying to make it about him, right? Like, yeah, we're in favor of an alliance, but like I'm kind of the one who's, heading up everything. But just the way that this was all structured and like with all the Death Watch soldiers walking behind Maul, so badass. And I'm like, yeah, no, Maul is 100% calling the shots here.
An audience with your leaders.
It'll be your funeral.
And so they go to confront the leaders, and they're all like joking around like, you guys are jokes. We're not mercenaries. Like, just get rid of them. Dispose of their ships and weapons. They're all sitting laughing it up, and all of a sudden, like, Vizsla points his weapons at two of them. Savage is throwing people around the room. Maul's just standing there. He goes, hey, this is your last opportunity. I'm giving you guys one more chance. And they're like, no, we are the Black Sun. And Maul just looks and he's like, all right, very well. For anybody that wants to say this is a children's show, I point to this scene right here. Children's show, LOL. And the one guy that was kind of laughing and joking around before, he's looking there like, oh, shoot. And Maul just looks at him like, it would seem the decision to join us is now yours. And he just goes, after careful consideration, we will join you. Which, yeah, I mean, fair move. So there we go. We got the Black Sun with us. And Vizsla's excited, like, yeah, we've got our army now. I've got a plan to undermine Satine. And Maul's super mad, like, bro, no, the army is weak. We're not ready for the Duchess yet. Vizsla goes, with my plan, we won't need a bigger force. And Maul goes, there is only one plan, one vision, which is kind of what he was alluding to like the last time that we see Maul, right? It's like there can only be one vision between him and Savage. There's the master and the apprentice, right? Maul goes, look, your vision lacks clarity. Without us, you have no army and no reason to undermine the Duchess. Maul is 100% calling the shots here, and Vizsla's like so upset about it. Okay, so then the next scene, the Pykes just casually join. It's like a 20-second scene of like, oh, the Pykes show up. Oh, they're with us. Okay, we're going to Nal Hutta. I love it. The leader just goes, we know you've been forming an army. And I'm like, well, how would you know about that? What are you talking about? Like the rumor, the speculation going around, Maul constructing his own little army. The Jedi read it and just go, nah, that's nonsense. So then the next people that they go to, they got the Black Sun, they got the Pykes. Now it's time to get the Hutts. So they go to Nal Hutta. The Hutts kind of counter their proposal with a bunch of bounty hunters that we are familiar with. They got Sugi in there. They got Embo, two of the bounty hunters from season 2 that we meet. We got Lots Razi in there. We got Dengar. And so we get this scene, right, where it's like all these hunters and all these other soldiers that work for the Hutts going up against Maul, Savage, and Vizsla. I will say, we better see some more like scenes with Maul in action during his own show that he's going to be getting this next year. So we see our 3 villains running out the door. They end up getting surrounded at the landing platform, but then in comes Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians to save the day, so it forces the hunters to fall back. That shot of like Savage, Vizsla, and Maul like walking down that hallway, it's like a scary but cool visual of like, dude, this alliance, if it sticks together, this is a dangerous force. Sugi and Embo end up waiting just like on the ceiling of this building. They're just hanging there, and then they drop down and start taking out the Zabraks. Vizsla takes the Darksaber and starts unleashing it on some of the other soldiers that are there. Dude, shout out Sugi and Embo. Both of them put up a fight. Embo's Anuva pet is there too, but unfortunately right, like 2 bounty hunters, no match for 2 Sith. And I was like, no, please don't kill these guys. Don't kill these guys. And then thankfully, Lotsarazzi and Dengar come in with a bunch of smoke grenades to save the day to cover their escape. And then Maul just kind of lets them go because he's like, bro, it's all right. They're only bounty hunters. They don't have any allegiance to anybody. So they go into the command center and they realize, they're all the Hutts had escaped except for one.
Kill him.
So Maul's like, give me a location. And he just goes, Tatooine, Tatooine. To which Vizsla knows what he's referring to right in that Jabba's palace. And Maul goes, so the only thing that you can tell me is that I will find Jabba at Jabba's palace. Now hold on, Maul. This is actually very useful information here. Jabba could be anywhere. He could be in the Dune Sea. He could be in the Junlin Wastes. He could be at Mos Espa. But this is confirmation that he is in his palace. Look, just for that, I would have let him go. Oh my god.
So the only thing that you can tell me is that I will find Jabba at Jabba's palace.
And so then Maul just tells Savage to kill him, and oh my gosh. Dude, I don't even want to know what that would have looked like. Because Savage just like swings his lightsaber all the way through. There would have been like blood all over the place. So then the Mandalorians go to Tatooine and they like kick butt. The Hutts don't stand any chance there. When Jabba's palace gets taken over like almost just like that. Vizsla talks a tough game in there. He's like, give up, Jabba, you're the only ones left. Bro, imagine like Jon Favreau like recording these lines and stuff being like, bro, wait a second, like we're taking over Jabba's palace right now? Jabba says something and the droid translate it to, the almighty Jabba and the Hutt families have decided to join you. And it's like, oh yeah, there we go. We got him. Cool. I did like the shot of like the one Mando going to like help that Corrin up that was down on the ground. It's like, hey, we're cool. We're all on the same side now. Like it's all good. No bad blood. Nothing personal. Just business. And Vizsla goes like, between the Hutts, the Black Sun, and the Pykes, we're going to have a large reserve of muscle and supplies, which I think is exactly what Maul was trying to go for, right? And Vizsla's asking him, so are Mandalore and Kenobi still our priorities? And Maul just goes, they're vital. And he goes, the vision has expanded a little bit. You will still rule Mandalore, as we agreed on, but under your protection, I will command a new galactic underworld. And Vizsla gets pretty upset, like he kind of clenches his fist, but then he kind of goes along with, what Maul's saying. And he goes, Mandalore, influences over 2,000 neutral systems. It'll give you a great selection for your enterprise. To which Maul goes, you've learned from your previous oversights. With their combined forces, the Republic and the Separatists would be irrelevant. I really wanted to see this play out so bad. I'm all in. I'm all in for this idea. Maul goes, mobilize the army, send a guard to the capital. I want a list of targets vital to Mandalore's security, but choose wisely. There will be no second chances. And then Vizsla walks away. He goes over to Bo-Katan and he goes, stay focused. Mandalore will soon be ours, and Maul and his brother will be dead alongside the Duchess. So like I said, everybody planning to turn on everybody. Because I think with Vizsla, right, it's like he doesn't really care about any of the other systems. He doesn't care about having a galactic underworld or like a third faction to go into war with the Republic and the Separatists. He just wants to rule Mandalore. That's all he cares about. He wants to bring back, the warrior ways of the past and yeah, just whatever all that entails there. He doesn't care about building like an empire to start a war. You know what I'm saying? Overall, I love this episode. Getting to see all those bounty hunters come back, great. Getting to see a little bit of Jabba, cool. Seeing Darth Maul team up with Death Watch and forming the Shadow Collective, as this group becomes known, is absolutely fantastic. This episode showed that Darth Maul isn't just brute force, but he's smart. And that's something that Dave talks about in the behind the scenes. I loved this for Maul's character because you see him come back, right? And it's like, first he's the guy in the cave with the spider legs. Then we start to see him kind of revert back to the Darth Maul that we see in Phantom Menace, only maybe a little bit more of a talker. But here we're getting to see him utilize all of the training that Sidious has given him, something that we would have never really seen in the movie. And he's becoming this really smart leader in a way. It's like he knew the top people that he wanted for his army, like the top groups of people out there that could help provide him with resources. Taking Mandalore is only step one. Right now, getting Mandalore is just kind of like establishing their base. And that's going to be interesting to see where things go from there. So that is going to wrap us up for today, you guys. Next week, we're going to be talking about Season 5, Episode 15, Shades of Reason. That's going to wrap us up for today, you guys. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.
There will be no bloodshed.
But Duchess!
I will not be provoked to violence by these terrorists.
Listen, Duchess. Do you hear the people? They cry out for change. Your weak-minded rule of Mandalore is at an end. The resurrection of our warrior past is about to